We've got a new update, a spanking shiny Alpha 20.5 stable. I'm gonna call this the FIXIT update, as it really is a FIXIT patch for a bunch of the horrible things which were happening with the Alpha 20.4 patch. Unfortunately, they also seem to be introducing a bunch of other problems which they recognize and call out in the patch notes, fortunately. If you're having issues with 20.4, this patch might be your savior, or you end up having more problems with 20.5 and will be anxiously waiting another FIXIT patch 20.6. We will see. A big shout out to everyone who supports the channel, be it awesome Patreon members, YouTube members, Twitch subs, or just dropping the odd super thanks. A big thank you all for coming along on this awesome ride. Might be commenting, liking the videos, or subscribing for all the content. But let's drop into the patch notes. I will preface this by saying, take a backup. As always, whenever you upgrade, make sure you take a backup. Chances are high that there will not be any or many issues, but if you do have issues, you definitely don't want to ruin your precious save by not having a backup. Some people who upgraded to 20.4 suffered word losses and without a backup could not roll back. So at the top they mentioned they gave the 20.4 stable which fixes crashes and the drone that was causing issues in multiplayer. They do actually, thankfully, call out a few broken pieces of the build, such as, well, the Discord overlay causing crashes in the game, and a bunch of EOS issues with macOS and party voice not working and on macOS and Linux. I guess a big problem with using EOS as the cross-platform glue is when it doesn't work, it doesn't stick. And, well, not that people really use in-game voice anyway, that much. People usually use Discord or something. The Fun Pimps also have a special call out that if you are still crashing, please take your time to report the bug and go here. This is the basic link. I will leave that in the description of the video so you can go and have a look as well and click away here if you want to log down the bug, because they are still having issues and they want you to report them. If you still crash before the game starts, they need the launcher log. They need some information in order to be able to help troubleshoot it. Now for some of the cool pieces, the mods folder. This was something that was rushed into Alpha 20.4 in preparation for Game Pass Microsoft launch. Now, they have taken it to heart, it seems, at least some of the community's frustration, and will allow you to set your user data folder in the game launcher. And this is really good because this allows you to customize it, and also means that you are able to, in the command line and even the server config.xml, set the user data folder. And this looks like it will tick most of the boxes. It means that mod packs can have a custom launch batch file to run the mods from a mod folder in the correct location, and the modpack server will be able to specify properly as well and sort of get away from that default app data folder which would interfere with a vanilla install and vanilla mods. We will have to see if there are any further objections here, but it really does seem like it goes quite some ways to resolving the issues with the mod location that the previous change was causing. What's changed? Log time. There are some added warnings for the server browser, added search limits. Well, sadly, most game browsers have limits, and if you've been running other servers, could be Valheim, could be Arc, you are well aware of some of the headaches that this causes with a limit of the amount of servers that can be searched through. Localization files are now checked for proper headers and show errors, which should help mod creators. I was hearing some mod creators having some issues with it not working properly. As to change things, they have removed ESC compatibility warning for Windows 11, but it's likely because it is compatible and having a warning just spooks people, which makes no sense. Now on to the fixes. You have the voice comm failure in the multiplayer game, and I believe this is the in-game voice that a lot of people don't use, so I can understand why this is not something that is easy to find. There are some ESC errors, and personally on my servers I prefer to disable ESC rather than worrying about problems with ESC, which there are plenty. Player reporting has been re-enabled. There were some issues with the user data folder and save game folder not allowing relative paths, and this is something that they have actually fixed. XUI filled sprite view not properly updating on position changes. I'm not really sure what this is impacting, what the problem has been, but it likely has to do with the user interface. Maybe it broke with some UI mods. And lastly, drone causing excess data in the player data file on a dedicated server. This is where basically you have some corruption due to the drone and it's spamming that file, and it was causing some corruption with the profile that basically required you to delete maybe the profile. And of course, you don't want people to restart their character just because the drone is having an issue. Now, people have requested that they fix the problems, but I am not sure. Well, and by fix the problems, I mean fix the problems of already corrupted profiles, which I don't think they will be doing. Basically, if it's happened, then you probably want to roll back to a previous save for that player profile. Now, before I close out, let's cover something which was posted on the forum where someone was highlighting that they were having major issues with their electric cables. The traps were there, but nothing was wired up. So someone was having some issues there, and he was checking some more. Motors vanished, and the dart traps, etc., etc. And this is why it's so important to make a backup. Now, I'm not really sure how frequent this happens. It likely is the power config file that is corrupting and resetting and causes this problem, because I've seen this in the past where something goes wrong with the electricity and the file is corrupted, it gets restarted, and that means that basically everything gets reset. So you lose all the fuel, you lose all the dart traps, you lose all the ammo, you lose all the configuration of the time relays and stuff like that. It basically goes back to the factory settings, which is usually a sign of the power file being corrupted. But let's really hope that this patch brings back stability to 7 Days to Die with Alpha 20.5. If not, look out for Alpha 20.6. And while you do that, make sure to drop a like and let me know in the comment section below what you think of Alpha 20.5. Does it resolve the issues that you might have been having or hearing about, or are you all good?
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the Vedui community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.